Long time no see. It has been years since I have made a real YouTube video, and I'm really happy that I finally have some more free time to actually make videos like this again. I've been spending the last couple of years working on my permanent makeup career, my tooth gem career, and spending a lot of time at the tattoo studio, but it's starting to hit slow season, and I'm really excited that that means I get to make content that I actually want to make. No offense to all the other content I make, but this is for me. This one's special. So today's video I've been thinking about making for the last week because I got my bodysuit worked on last Saturday. Specifically my ass. I don't know why I felt weird saying that. Why should I be shy? I have nothing to be shy about. I'm an open book. I have a full tattoo on the top of my back going all the way down. I'll insert a photo and some videos of that getting worked on. And it inspired me to make this video to educate people a little bit about what a bodysuit tattoo is. So a bodysuit tattoo is kind of like a sleeve that covers your entire body. There's tons of different styles. The most popular styles would be the Japanese bodysuit or the American traditional patchwork style. These kinds of tattoos usually take multiple sessions and years to finish. I started this process when I was 18 and I'm 26 now, and I still have some room left and some unfinished tattoos, as you can see here. So let's go back in time to the first tattoo that started it all. Back to July 30th, 2016 on my 18th birthday when I had a tattoo session booked with Tony DeRico. That is the guy that is still doing my back till this day. This tattoo right here was my first real tattoo. I had some really bad stick and pokes that I had done myself at home, and I also had a tattoo that I had gotten done on somebody's porch. I think it's over here. Hold on, let me get my hair out of the way. There's a spider web behind my ear. Oh. Yeah, I haven't cleaned back there in ages, so it gets cobwebs. Anyways, I spent my first day as an adult getting tattooed and being in pain. And just like the immature little kid I was, instead of going home and letting my arm heal, I immediately went to an amusement park with my friends. I'm so glad that I don't burn easily, because if I got a sunburn on a healing tattoo, that would have been hell on earth. Not good timing on my part, but the tattoo survived. It was just the lines. You live and you learn. I would probably say the worst part on the arm is the elbow ditch. My elbow ditches always get really scabbed up and they don't heal well. That area is always moving, so it makes sense. Totally not the artist's fault or anything like that. It's just the ditch sucks. If you want a full body tattoo, there's certain areas that are going to be more angry than others. On to the next subject, my favorite tattoo. No offense to the handful of artists I've been to, but my Tabori tattoo was the coolest experience for me. Tabori tattoo is a Japanese traditional tattooing technique where the artist uses a handheld tool, usually made of bamboo, to manually poke ink into the skin rather than using a machine. So no electricity. It's kind of like a giant stick and poke tattoo. Aside from the handmade tattoo poker, Takashi also made his own pigments, which was super cool. And who's Takashi, you might be wondering? He's the artist I'm so glad I found on that fateful night when I was standing in Adult Mart at my work looking for artists. I was standing there at my job surrounded by boys and scrolling the website for the Cleveland Tattoo Convention. I scrolled endlessly trying to find a Japanese tattoo artist that really fit what I was looking for, and I got all the way to the bottom, to the T's, and that's when I found Takashi, who's also known as Traditional Tool on Instagram. I sent him an email and I told him I want a big dragon tattoo on my ribs, and he immediately said, let's do it. We booked the appointment and we did this huge outline at the Cleveland Convention a couple years back. Actually, it's like 6 years now, Jesus Christ. Now when I pictured this dragon tattoo, I pictured it was going to be smaller, but when I showed up and I told him where I wanted it, He basically just moved his hands and said, bigger. And I said, well, okay. Can't really argue with that. So since I first met this artist, I've been visiting periodically in New York and Chicago to work on this tattoo, but honestly, since the pandemic and all that stuff, I don't really love to travel to get tattooed anymore. I don't know, it just doesn't really have the same allure. I would rather travel and like go be on a beach somewhere than subject myself to pain and not be able to swim and be on a beach somewhere. That's the one downside to getting tattooed. As soon as you get a fresh tattoo, all of a sudden you'll have all these urges like, I want to go to the gym today. And then your friend will text you, hey, you want to go swimming? And you're like, nope, can't do any of it because I have a healing tattoo. I remember the last session I got, I had this huge session done on my dragon and no tegaderm, no sanoderm, the littlest bit of wrap on there. And getting on the subway in New York City with a healing tattoo, I felt gross. I didn't like that feeling at all. So I really hope that I can get this tattoo finished soon. I would much prefer to visit him somewhere like Chicago or literally anywhere closer to me, just not New York City. And the next subject, the thing that nobody likes to talk about, my most painful tattoo. How bad do tattoos hurt? That is what I get asked constantly. I think we all know by now that pain tolerance really varies on the person and the location in which you're getting tattooed. And I think I have enough coverage at this point to speak on this subject a little bit. Let me tell you, the back. Oh, the back. Oh, it makes my skin crawl. It's so cool, and you just have to go through so much fucking pain to get it done, and you don't even get to look at it. Everybody else gets to look at it behind you, but you never get to see it. So it's a lot of pain and time and money for something that you won't really see a lot. So if I could recommend anything to you, it'd be wait to get your back tattooed and make sure it's something you really, really like. I wouldn't recommend, if you're getting your first tattoo, don't get, some little Pinterest tattoo like on your back, because you're never gonna see it. If you want to get your first tattoo, you might as well get it somewhere where you're gonna see it. But that's just my opinion. So when I started my back piece, I didn't want my butt cheeks tattooed. For some reason, I just thought it would look stupid on me, so we just did this butterfly Hanya mask in the center of my back, and 2 little ropes were kind of going up on the top of my glutes. And once we finished all that, my back just looked like it needed something. Like it was all filled in the middle, and the lower half and the top half were so empty. So I asked my artist to help me think of what would look good to fill it in, and he ended up doing the snake and the flowers, which I'm really happy with how it turned out. Considering it was an afterthought, he did a great job composing that. Another tip, don't be like me. Don't be an annoying client and have to do all this adding on and stuff. Just really, really put a lot of thought into what you want to get tattooed. My cat just broke in. The worst part on the back has to be the section that I just recently got done last week. The lower half to like the back of the thigh. Oh, excuse me, Mr. Tail. Oh my god. Anyways, there's really nothing to be afraid of when it comes to getting a tattoo. They all are gonna suck, and the best you can do is just be mentally prepared and eat lots of food, drink lots of water, maybe take some Tylenol beforehand, but just be prepared. I'm not gonna be one of those people that says, oh, tattoos aren't that painful, I fell asleep in a tattoo, because then somebody I know will go and get their first tattoo and be like, oh my god, this is so fucking painful, I'm never doing this again. There's just something about knowing beforehand what you're getting into that helps you get through it. Some of the things that I do to get through painful, long tattoo sessions, I like to chew gum. Specifically, I like to chew like multiple pieces of gum at once. For some reason, like all the gnawing and chewing, it like helps me, I guess. And you always want to bring like a hoodie to kind of like roll up and use as a pillow if you need. Definitely bring you know, some snacks, of course, bring some candy. So in the end, there has been a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that have gone into my tattoo bodysuit. I've gotten my right arm done in Philly, my left arm done here in Cleveland, my back done in Cleveland, and my ribs done in New York City, Chicago, Cleveland. Worked on that one all over town. And my legs, right now my legs are kind of just, how should I describe this? Kind of like collecting postage stamps. I already have such big tattoos and sleeves on my arms and my back that for my legs, as much as I love the look of a traditional leg sleeve, I think for me right now, I just want to have as many experiences as possible, because that's the really fun thing about getting tattooed. You don't have to stick with one artist. I think that that's a misconception. And if your artist is weird and it's like, hey, you went to somebody else, if your tattoo artist is possessive of you, that is not a good sign. That's weird. You can go to whoever you want, whenever you want, but don't be a dickhead and message an artist and be like, hey, can you do this tattoo for me, and then ghost them and then get it done by somebody else. That's fucked up. That's not okay. But in the end, it was all worth it, truthfully. I have prioritized getting tattooed over a lot of other things, such as, you know, learning how to drive, getting my first car. I didn't do any of those things when I first turned 18. My priority was to be a tattoo model. And to be a tattoo model, well, you need some tattoos. So I'm really thankful that all the blood, sweat, and tears and money I've put into my bodysuit has paid off. I'm extremely thankful when I look back on my life. I've already achieved some of my huge goals that I had set, like, you know, being an SG model. I got to be published in Inked magazine and work at tattoo conventions and music festivals all over the country. You know, these aren't necessarily huge. I'm not world famous, but you know what? Who gives a shit about any of that? All I want to do is get cool tattoos and talk about it. I just want to share the cool world of being a tattoo collector with you guys. I just had to say that because I felt like it sounded like I might have been bragging. Not trying to brag at all. I'm just honestly so thankful for all these tattoos I've gotten. And they were pretty much all done before my brain was fully developed, so let's just thank God that I didn't get a full back piece of like a Hello Kitty or something like that. But anyways, that's enough about me. What is your most painful tattoo? Mine was my back, but let me know in the comments what you think. And I'll see you in the next video.